The morning my father laughed at me in court, he was certain he had won. He sat beside my brother with the look of a man who spent years building a truth and never expected it to be challenged. In his mind, I was the failure, the daughter who moved away, missed holidays, and, according to him, could keep herself housed. He wanted everyone to hear it. The courtroom was small, but every chair seemed occupied by relatives who had swallowed his version of me for years. Aunts, uncles, cousins, faces that had watched him turn me into a warning instead of a person. When I stepped inside, he tilted his chin and smirked. "Look who finally showed up." A few people chuckled. I kept walking and took my seat. The fight was over my grandmother's estate. After she died, she left behind land, investments, and the house outside town. Her will divided everything equally among her grandchildren, but my father and brother had challenged it, claiming she was not competent when she signed. What they really meant was that they hated that I had been treated the same as everyone else. Their lawyer stood first and painted me as unstable, unreliable, and absent, a woman too careless to manage inherited wealth. My father nodded at every accusation as if he were approving a performance. Then the lawyer mentioned my money trouble, and my father laughed. "She can't even pay rent." The judge's mouth tightened, but my father was too busy enjoying himself to notice. I said nothing. I had learned long ago that some people do not listen to understand. They listen only to confirm what they have already chosen to believe. The judge turned to me. "Miss Mercer, do you wish to respond?" I stood. "Yes, Your Honor." My father leaned back, ready to watch me stumble. Instead, I handed a folder to the clerk. The judge opened it, scanned the first page, and paused. He adjusted his glasses and read again. Then he looked at me. "Colonel Emma Mercer," he said. My father's smile vanished. "Yes, Your Honor," I said. The judge turned another page, then another. United States Army, 24 years of service, multiple command assignments, strategic operations, distinguished service commendations. The room went silent except for the soft whisper of paper. My father stared at me as if I had become someone else overnight. My brother looked confused, then uneasy. A cousin dropped her eyes to her lap. My father finally found his voice. "Why didn't she tell us?" I nearly laughed. I had told them many times. After promotions, after deployments, after every assignment, I called. I sent updates, photos, and letters. They preferred the version of me that fit their story. The judge kept reading. Then his expression changed again. "According to the financial disclosure filed with these records," he said, "Miss Mercer owns her home outright and has no mortgage debt." A murmur ran through the courtroom. My father looked as though the floor had shifted under him. The judge set the papers down. "Sir, your daughter is financially secure, highly decorated, and professionally accomplished. The claims against her are unsupported." My father said nothing. For once, he had no answer ready. Then the judge opened the sealed letter attached to my grandmother's will and read aloud. "I leave my estate in equal shares, because character matters more than gossip. The granddaughter who visited when no one else did deserves the same as those who came for appearances." No one needed to ask who she meant. While my family argued over money, I had spent years sitting with my grandmother, helping her in the kitchen, listening to her stories, and holding her hand when the pain got bad. I came because I loved her, not because I wanted anything. My father lowered his head. My brother stared at the floor. The judge dismissed the challenge, and the will stood exactly as written. When people began leaving, no one congratulated my father. No one laughed anymore. The story he had repeated for years had finally broken against the truth. Outside, the afternoon sun was bright on the courthouse steps. My father caught up with me before I reached my car. For a moment he said nothing. Then, in a voice I barely recognized, he asked, "Why didn't I know any of this?" I looked at him and felt something inside me go still. "Because you decided who I was before you ever tried to know me," I said. He flinched, but he had no defense, just silence. I got into my car and closed the door. I did not drive away angry. I did not drive away triumphant either. What I felt was something quieter: release. My grandmother used to say the best victory is a life so solid it no longer needs witnesses. Sitting there with the courthouse behind me, I finally understood her at last. My father had finally met the daughter he dismissed for years. The only question left was whether he could live with being too late to matter.